Hello, Bill Mead here again, and in this video I want to look at a couple specific key points along the way with this project, particularly project number 6 and project number 12, and sort of talk about them and a couple of the different aspects about them that I think are interesting. In project 6, one of the things that's interesting here is that I abandoned the notion of having the program draw rectangles, and instead it's using type to add letters to the screen instead of boxes or rectangles. I had previously tried to get curves into the designs, and I didn't feel like I had done it in a way that was very aesthetically pleasing. So I thought this would be kind of an interesting way of getting curves in there, since type is made up of shapes that have some really nice curves and those types of elements built into it. I thought I could use that to create some interesting compositions. This one's getting deconstructed as we see here, as we watch it here. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the recursion part of this. So down here, I have this function called createBox that I have created, and it's running. In this case, it's kind of badly named because it's not making boxes anymore. It's adding letters to the screen, but it adds a letter to the screen, and it fades a letter in. It has a potential of sort of hitting a place where it will start fading letters out. But then at the very end, it calls itself again. And this is the part of recursion that I think is very interesting, because this program could be, if you're using a loop, generally loops repeat exactly the same way each time. But recursion is different in that instead of repeating exactly the same way each time it runs, it could run a little bit differently. And it's picking a particular letter, it's picking a particular color, a particular location on the canvas, and a particular amount of rotation, and it's drawing that on the screen, which I think is very interesting. So there's that. The next project I want to look at is project number 12. This project I thought was very interesting. Again, it's working with the letters, but I also thought as the letters came on the screen, sometimes the letters started to form words, and I thought that was kind of fascinating in its own way. So I went looking out on the internet, and I found a list of over 5,000 common English words. So I put all those words in an array, and now this particular design has a potential of adding words or rectangles or letters or circles onto the screen. And if we go down here and kind of look at how it does that, I am creating a random number here between 1 and 100, and I'm checking to see if that random number is greater than 60, then the program will generate a rectangle. If, on the other hand, it's between 40 and 60, it will create a rectangle with rounded corners, which make it a circle. And then between 20 and 40, giving it a 20% chance of putting a letter on the screen. And then if it's between 0 and 20, you're likely to get a word on the screen. And so by setting up these probabilities, each time the function runs and calls itself, it sets kind of a new opportunity or randomness or tendency to draw either a rectangle, a circle, a word, or a letter. And I think that that's kind of interesting. So those are a couple of the things that have sort of developed during the process of creating this project that I think are kind of interesting. And of course, there's lots of different ways that this could be pushed and pulled and taken. And you'll see in the next video, if you choose to watch it, some of those different directions that I've gone.